4x8 maple plywood. Make sure I got that correct. I will link everything that we used in this video, so if it's something that you want to do, it could be easy because you can find it. And we just bought it at Lowe's. My husband used his nail gun and he just, you know, put it down on the floor. And what I did is I used this Dry Dex spackling to fill in all of the nail holes, so you can see, and the cracks. So these were all the sheets that he had to kind of work in together. And I am not going for like a perfect floor look. So if things look dingy or kind of scuffed or paint doesn't work out perfectly, that's perfectly fine for me, because I kind of like the whole rustic kind of look. So I did this and it dried. I did it yesterday. I did these a couple days ago, so these are fine. We have to take our washing machine and dryer out. So I had to wash all of the clothes that we needed just in case we ran out of clothes. But we will be taking these out of here and put them in my daughter's room so that, oh geez, don't fall in a air vent. Anyway, so I'm going to sand this down and then we will vacuum, and I will get a damp rag and wipe everything down because there's going to be tons of dust in here. And then this is the paint that I picked up. Now, there are floor paints out there. We are going to put down a sealer on top of it. So I didn't feel that it was necessary to get a floor paint because we are going to put a polyurethane seal on it to kind of protect it. So this is the paint that I purchased. I got it tinted for the color that I wanted. You can see right there, it's a very dark charcoal gray. And then I will show you the stencil that we have. All right, so I've searched on Amazon and there are tons and tons of stencils. These are the two, mine come in a 2-pack. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. I don't know, I will have to look when I get it down, but I love seeing them right here. So I don't know, I have no idea which one I'm gonna do, but they're both pretty. Anyway, so this is my plan, is to stencil down instead of doing tile. I got the 12 by 12 inch tile so that it would be, you know, pretty large. Well, it's not that large, but I will put them down and then you just put tape on them and, you know, roll paint on them. So this is my plan, and they come bigger and you can get smaller tiles like stencils. So but I will link this one that we got, but you can just actually type in floor stencils and the size that you want, and then tons of them come up. All right, so I've got the floor sanded. I put down a sample of my stencils. I'm gonna go with this one, but I've got it all sanded. I have to get these couple spots right here just because that was under the dryer, and then I'm gonna vacuum, and then I'm gonna wipe it with a damp cloth to collect any dust, and then we're gonna paint it. I'm actually kind of nervous, but we'll see how it goes. Two coats are down. It has been drying for about 2 hours since the second coat has been down. I've got my stencil ready to go. I ordered this one on Amazon. I'll put a link to this, and you can also just type in floor stencils. Just check the size that you're looking for, because there are bunches like 6x6 and stuff, but I just put tape over the little jewel part right here that I was not too excited about, so I'm just gonna do that without it. I have a smaller paint tray, and I always use either trash bags, which you can see right here I used for the floor paint, which I'm keeping out just in case I need to paint over something. But I have a smaller tray, so I have a regular tiny roller and a brush, and I'm gonna put the paint in here, but I use a bag for easy cleanup, so it's one less thing I have to worry about cleaning up. And then I'm gonna put it on top of a bag so that when I get into the floor, white paint doesn't get onto the floor. So the first thing that I had to think about was my design and where I want to go with it. So my concern was going from here over and then it not lining up to where
it would be like this, where a new one would start along this line right here. It would be like a half of a stencil all the way down, and I didn't really want that look in the first part of the room. So what my plan is to do, this is like a landing space. This is like a main portion when you either go this way or you're gonna go this way. So I'm gonna use this little, you can see where it lines off right here. So I'm gonna use this as like a rug, and I'm just gonna do like 3 by 3 of the stencil and then just leave it just like that. So then I don't have to worry about trying to line up anything, and my design for the floor will start here and go all the way over. Now you can do whatever you want, however it works for you, but this is just the plan that I've come up with, and I'm hoping it works. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is put your stencil where you want it. You'll wanna line it up, but you're gonna wanna work, like I'm gonna work in this area, and then I'm gonna go that way. So I'll start at the top and then work this way so that I work my way outside of the room. So we'll get started. Okay, so I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in. And you kind of learn from your mistakes. I'm gonna have to come back. I don't know if you can see it, but it's hard to sometimes stay in the lines. So we're going back to kindergarten. All right, so but I learned that it's good to have, I have an old towel right here. My stencils came with this little like cardboard or like construction paper in between them. So I'm using that. I realized after I picked up the other one and laid this down, it's still a little wet on the back. So once I pick it up, I lay the part that was on the ground on the towel, and then I put this down and I just pat this right here, just so that it presses down on the towel and it's not like really wet. So then I just pull this up, and then I just put my little paper right there, and then I just lay it back down. So I learned about almost two rows in that you need to rinse it off every once in a while. I don't know if I'd be able to show it, but the paint will build up on this side that is laying down on your ground, on your floor, or wherever you're doing it. And so it could build up so much that it allows paint to get in, and you'll see a kind of a difference in some of the stencils and some of them not. I mean, some of the stuff you will not be able to see if you're just standing there looking at it, but if you're down here looking at it, you can kind of see it. But, so I just suggest taking it to your sink, rinsing it off. I just rinsed off both sides, and then just come back in. I put new tape on, which your tape will get kind of non-sticky after a while. So there's another tip for you. All right, so I finished late last night. It took about 4.5 hours to do this. It is a labor of love. So if this is not something that you would want to do or want to like enjoy doing, don't do it. But if you have a small bathroom or a small laundry room, I do suggest it, as it is much more affordable than getting like expensive tile or even like peel and stick tile that you're gonna have to redo in a couple years. We did not do this section because that is where the dryer goes, and then the washing machine goes right here. And I did not want to put it
right here as like a half tile or like a half stencil, because when I was doing it over here, it is really hard unless you, I mean, I could cut the stencil out and like cut it so it would be nicer, but it's really hard to get like the edges look nice. So I'm perfectly fine. It kind of just makes it like, you know, the same, I guess. I decided to go with 3 this way, so it doesn't look like it's too like squished. And we're gonna have 2, you know, a transition here and a transition there, and there will be a door there, so it will kind of fill up the space. And then we'll have like, you know, jackets and stuff hanging, so I think it'll be fine. So the next process, it dried overnight. I would not walk on it barefoot. If I can show you, here's right here. These are like, I'm pretty sure those are fingerprints. But when you put your hand or your feet on it, you can wipe that off, but you will see it because I used a flat paint. I'm guessing if you use like a semi-gloss, it wouldn't do that. But just sharing our experience, I had socks on the entire time. So when I stood up, I wouldn't have like my feet, you know, stuck on it. So we'll just wipe down. I'll just look through it and make sure that there's no like footprints or whatever. I think there's one right there when my husband went downstairs. But you just want to kind of look it over. Some of the stencils, you do need to wash it every couple of times. Maybe have 2 stencils in case you're doing like a larger room. My stencil did kind of like bend just a little bit when I was washing it. And I can show you, this is kind of what happens when your stencil is not clean compared to this one. And then see right here, these edges. Now, when I was showing how I put it, when I pick the stencil up and I put it on a towel, if you don't do that, it will like put these like little white specks on it. Now, if you're a perfectionist, that would probably bug you, but I know that this is a project that I did, and so I'm perfectly fine with it not looking perfect because it is a DIY project and things aren't always going to look amazing. But I'm 100% happy with it. I think it turned out amazing. I think it's beautiful. It's gonna look amazing once the washer and dryer is back in here and we have the cabinets. That's our next project, is to paint all of this white. I think it's gonna look amazing. So I highly suggest, if you're adventurous and enjoying doing DIY, to do this. So the next part is we're gonna put down a sealer. So we chose this one. Do your own research and I'll let you know how it goes. But this is a semi-gloss polyurethane for floors. There is one, this was like $45, $46. There's one that's like almost $70. It's the same thing, but it says it's a 2-hour drying time instead of 4. But on the back of this, if you read it, it does say that you can recoat in 2 hours if it's not tacky. So technically you're paying $20 more for a little bit faster drying time, not a better quality product. So this is the one that we're gonna go with, and we'll do 2 coats. I'm guessing I'm not sure if that's all we're gonna do, but we'll see how it does. So this is all new territory for us. So we'll see. All right, so here is the completed floor. We have our washing machine and dryer back in here. I just have a rag there because just sometimes our washer leaks, and my husband is making a little thing to go underneath our washer at work. But I absolutely love it. Read your polyurethane instructions. Ours says that you can walk on it, I think after like 24 hours or something. This says do not put any heavy rugs on it for 7 days, I believe. And you shouldn't clean it, I think, for 2 weeks. So just be careful with it because it can be tacky for a while. But it's definitely a labor of love. It took me over 4.5 hours to do. Would I do it again? Yes, but will I do it again in another room bigger than this? No. This room is pretty big. It didn't feel that big at first when we were doing this, but now once we started this project, it feels huge. So I love it. I hope you guys got some helpful information from it, and I hope you guys try this out maybe in a room or in a wall or something in your house. I'm actually going to use the other stencil on our cabinets, which will be in another video once we finish in here. But there's my floors all done.